What's up, guys? It's Matt here with Tanks Lawn Maintenance. I'm over here by my air conditioner. I hope y'all can hear me. It's running pretty loud right now, but just want to put out another video for tips and tricks on a thick, beautiful Bermuda lawn. And I want to show y'all the lawn since I've aerated it. Right behind me, this is this tree right here. Hopefully y'all can see that pretty good. This is the tree that I didn't cut. It is starting to fill in nicely. If you can remember, that spot was pretty doggone barren. And matter of fact, let me get y'all turn y'all around. If y'all can remember, this spot was pretty barren. There was literally zero grass in this area. And I aerated the lawn. I do plan on cutting this tree back this winter. I'm not gonna do it during the hot months, but I am gonna do it in the winter. It's just a little too much to do right now. I've got too much going on. This tree's a lot bigger than the other tree that was in the front yard and the front of my house. So I am going to cut this back to promote more sunlight hitting the ground and creating photosynthesis and to help the creeping effect. And I am going to stay on top of the aeration. I'm going to do that once a year, but instead of doing it at the end of June, I'm going to do it at the beginning of July, because it's something about the month of July. Something about the month of July is just too hot, and there's a lot of damage that gets done to your lawn due to the heat in July. And June, the first half of June, is really the best time to do any kind of work in your lawn that's going to damage your lawn, I guess you could say, like aerations or what you call it, dethatching or anything like that. You really want to do that the first 2 weeks of June. That way your lawn has time to heal itself while it's still below 95. You know, if you live down in Florida or South Georgia or anything like that, you know, you probably need to do it at the end of May, not the beginning of June. But you want to do it before temperatures hit 95. That way your lawn has time to heal itself. But up here in the front yard, get y'all turned around. Up here in the front of the house, you know, this spot right here, this is where somebody before we moved in tried to overseed, and I guess it spilled out because that is Bermuda. It's just a different species of Bermuda, different subspecies. But over there by the driveway, it was pretty barren. You know, there was patchy areas, and it filled in nicely. And you have all this, it's starting to fill in. You know, it's not like I would like it to be yet, but it is starting to fill in. And the only thing that's really gonna help is if I come out here and chop this tree down and chase the roots with a root grinder. But as you can see, there's roots just going haywire, going everywhere. So I'm not going to be able to do that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring in some topsoil and sand mix, and I'm going to fill this area in, and I'm just going to feed it with nitrogen. And because the thing about this area is right here, man, there's so many roots. You know, the grass is competing with those roots right there for nutrients and water and things of that nature, stuff that it needs to live and thrive. And it is creeping into the bare areas, but it's doing it at a very slow rate because of the roots. And you can still have a beautiful Bermuda lawn with roots. It's just there's a lot more that you have to do. And I don't know what's going on right here, but that area, it is just very sparse in that one spot right there. And there's a couple of other spots right down here that are the same way. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find some kind of organic fertilizer that is rich with nitrogen. You know, a lot of people have said Milorganite. Milorganite is not full of nitrogen, it is full of iron. Milorganite is what you want to use if you're a DIY guy and don't believe in hiring somebody to treat your lawn. Milorganite is what you use to get that deep green look. And I have the deep green look for the most part. And but I do have scalp marks too, just because of the simple fact of I have so many irregularities in my lawn. But I will be putting sand out and leveling my lawn next year. And but this area right here has started to fill in nicely, and my grass is super thick out here in the wide open area, except for that spot right there where the stump is. And I think what I'm gonna do, probably the end of May next year, I'm gonna dig this spot up, and I'm gonna get out here with a pickaxe and break that stump apart. And I'm just gonna get it out of there and fill it back in with fill it back in with topsoil and some sand. That way that spot will fill in. But everything I've done so far, the dethatching, the aerating, cutting back that tree, and I did thin out that tree some. You know, you couldn't see any sunlight through that tree. And then replacing all the sprinkler heads in my yard and adjusting them properly, and switching back and forth from 7 days a week to 3 days a week, depending on the temperature and the amount of rainfall that we get in this area. It has taken a toll on my yard in a good way. It's a lot more vibrant. It's a lot thicker in most places, and the creeping effect is taking place. It's just a lot slower than what I would like it to be. But you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. The yard does look 10 times better than what it did at the beginning of the spring when it first came out of dormancy. But this area right here, I think what I'm gonna do, you know, this is a very light colored hot spot right here. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come out here with my 2-prong aerator and just hit different spots in the area right here, and just make sure that spot stays soft. That way the water can get to the ground quicker, or get to the roots quicker. But I am going to stay on top of the aerating, and I am going to stick with a 2-year dethatching plan, and we're going to get this thing turned around. But that's what I have for the tips and tricks segment of a thick Bermuda lawn, thick beautiful Bermuda lawn. But also I want to show y'all a few other things. You've got this right here. It's poa annua, and I've got a lot of it over here. I'll show you. There's some right there. This little bit right here, and there's some right there. There's a couple of sprigs over here. But you have some right over here. I'm sure you can see it. And this hill right here, I have to hit that with a weed eater, man. I can't put a lawnmower on that hill. It'll scalp the crap out of it. And it is impossible to get a hill perfect with a weed eater. But it is what it is, man. It's just something you got to deal with when you have a yard like mine. But some of the poa is dying off. But what that is caused by, we have had a ton of rain in the past 2 weeks. I want to say we've had close to 20 inches of rain in the past 2 weeks. Close to it. I think it's right at 16 inches, honestly. But just in the past 2 weeks, we've had right at 16 inches of rain in the past 2 weeks. And that causes a lot of things, especially when you live down here in the east central Georgia area, where it is nothing for the lawn, or it's nothing for you to have evening showers and the very next day it'll be 105 degrees. And that's just the way it's been, man. We've had a lot of rain for the past half month, and that mixed with the overcast skies and the change in temperatures between 85 to 105, it's created a lot of poa annua in my yard, or annual bluegrass, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it causes that, and there's really nothing you can do about that. If you have a treatment company coming out and treating your lawn, they can spot treat it if you're that impatient. But the best thing to do is just impatient and let the best thing to do is to be patient and just let the natural process take place. And also, when you have a lot of rain in your yard, it is imperative to turn your sprinkler systems off, because although I always say you're not going to drown Bermuda, there's other things that can happen when you have a lot of rain mixed with irrigation. You can cause fungus in your yard. And about once a year I'll come out here and have 1 or 2 mushrooms sticking up in my yard. And I just came out here this morning. I actually cut the grass yesterday and there was nothing in my lawn. And I came out here this morning and there was a big old mushroom sticking up right beside my bed on the side of my house. So they pop up overnight, man, when there's a lot of water in the ground. But especially if you have a lot of shade, it will cause a lot of fungus in your yard. So be careful, be mindful of that. But yeah, guys, the lawn is coming along nicely. I will turn y'all around and get y'all a quick overview of it. You can see it down through there. I wish you see that strip on the other side of the sidewalk. That's the best looking part, man. And I really do wish that the rest of my lawn looked like that. But it will, man. It's just gonna take time. It's just gonna take time. But anyway, guys, like I said, mow often, mow low. That is the single two best things that you can do if you have a Bermuda lawn to make your lawn thicken up. If you don't have access to saws, if you don't have access to a aerator or dethatcher or anything like that, you can still mow your lawn every 3 or 4 days, and you can mow it sub 2 inches, however low you can go without scalping the lawn. You can mow it as low as possible and mow it often, and that will thicken up your lawn. It promotes your lawn. It tricks your lawn into thinking that it needs to grow laterally instead of vertically. But anyway, guys, that's what I got for this video, and I will cut y'all back on the next one. But until then, y'all keep cutting that grass and keep making that money. Holler at y'all. Bye.